beating them. Call him the lost generation, no one's teaching them, and no one's leading them. And it's just misdirection. War zone, tell them enter at your own discretion. And they say that Jesus wept, so I ain't afraid to cry. But I ain't Jesus, will I rise? I'm afraid to die. And if I said something different, I'm a faithful lie. But she never raised a sucker, I ain't afraid to try. And they say that Jesus wept, so I ain't afraid to cry. But I ain't Jesus, will I rise? I'm afraid.
Hello world, hello world. Welcome to another edition of Street Services. Live from Trail 5, episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. And there is no guest with me tonight. I'm gonna hold it down by myself tonight. And I'm gonna just it's not a vent section. I know a lot of those um, venting or going off kind of videos. They tend to go viral on YouTube, just people just speaking their mind and going off. No offense to them, but this is not going to be a vent section. I'm not venting. I just want to speak my mind. I want to get some clarity on exactly who I am and what I intend to do, even while on this platform. Now, I do want to thank Donnie and everybody who supported me on this platform, whether it's Quita, who's moderating in the background now, whether it's Tashmir, who has walked me through the beginnings of, going from behind the camera to in front of the camera, to Donnie, who has started the platform in the first place, to Chap, who is actually the Chap is actually the big brother, the godfather of the platform. He's always there when you need him. And to everybody else, especially to my fiance, who is always encouraging me to, you know, not look, not see myself, not see myself in the chair, right? I mean, a lot of people, we are all self-conscious, right? If you walk into a room and you know you got a pimple on your forehead, you could be dropping dimes, you could be dropping gems, but you're gonna constantly be aware that people are looking at that pimple on your forehead, regardless of whether they're listening and fully in tune to the words that you're saying. You're gonna be self-conscious about that pimple that's on your forehead. Well, my pimple is a almost 300 pound wheelchair. My pimple is the way my hands look. My pimple is not being able to have functionality over my body. So I'm always self-conscious about that being the first thing people see when they see me. They don't see the guy who is overcoming that this situation. They don't hear the guy who is speaking knowledge throughout the situation. We often talk about you can't. We often say, "Oh, you can't have a testimony without the test," but a lot of us really don't want to go through that test. So I'm going to use tonight to get some clarity as of not who I am, because if you want to know who I am and if you want an introduction, you can go back to episode 1. But I'll use this episode to get some clarity because a lot of people are definitely in tune into what I'm doing. They've been very encouraging. They've been very motivational to what I'm doing. But I'm getting a lot of mixed audiences, or the audiences that I am attracting, they are mixed as to who I am and what I stand for. You understand? They are at a crossroads as to what I look like as far as the dreadlocks, the way I talk. When they do see me, I got tattoos all over the place. Or whether they do see the wheelchair, they like, okay, that's that guy. But then when I open my mouth, the words that come out of my mouth don't meet the face that they see. When I open my mouth, the education and the vernacular and the intelligence don't meet the dreadlocks that they see. And it's confusing them. I'm attracting a lot of people, which is good, right? It's like you attract more flies with honey other than vinegar. So I'm glad that I'm attracting these people, but I just want them to understand exactly who I am and what I stand for, right? So once again, my name is Joey Noble. I am from Miami, Florida, born and raised. 2013, I was in a car accident that left me a quadriplegic, meaning I am paralyzed from my neck down. I don't have any, I can move certain limbs, but I don't have any functionality over those limbs. Meaning I can move my hands as you can see, but I can't hold a cup with my hands. You understand? So that's just the reality of my situation. So the power that I have and the power that has attracted people to me, whether that's been making websites for them, whether that's on this platform that Donnie has allowed me to share my story with, whether that's making music, which I make my own music, whether that's making a T-shirt, whether that's starting a ministry, whether that's showing people that despite this situation, there is love. I am engaged. I have a beautiful fiance, which y'all will meet soon. I will have her on the show, but it's a lot of misunderstanding as to who I am, what I should be doing, and what I am doing. So we're gonna use this episode just to clear things up, right? And the first thing I want to address is the reality of black conscious. So the reality is in the African American in the black circle, we see weakness as anything other than strength, right? If it's not strength, it's weakness. And for us, we have one definition of strength, and that's success. If you're not successful, you're weak. We don't care if you're smart. If you're not smart with a Mark Zuckerberg business, you're weak, or you got to take the L. If you are beautiful, but you don't have a million likes on Facebook, you got to take the L. If you have a business and your business isn't bringing in, $100,000 per month, then you got to take the L. That is the black conscious mind that we only have one barometer of what it is to be mean something, and that is success. If you are black and you have not made it out the hood, you're a failure. If you're black and you still live in your neighborhood, then that means you didn't make it out. You understand? The one thing or the main objective for African Americans is to make it out, right? That is our one job. Our parents tell us to go to school, get a good job so you can make it out. We need to leave. And if for any reason you're still here, that means you didn't fulfill the mission. You didn't leave, so then you failed. So if you are black and you were in the streets, such as I, and you encountered a tragedy, whether it be a car accident and it was your fault, or whether it be a car accident and it wasn't your fault. My car accident, I was in the back seat, leaving my friend's baby shower. My friend's baby shower was at a church center. It was at 5:30 in the afternoon. Now, out of all the things that I did, it happened in 2013, so I was 24. So all the things that I had done throughout my life up to that point in college, driving home drunk, right? Driving when I didn't have no reason to be driving, doing things that I didn't have no business doing and got away with. I got complacent into where life happened when I least expected it on a Sunday at a baby shower at 5:30 in the afternoon when there was plenty times I could have been caught up at 2 in the morning doing something I didn't have any business doing. or at 3 in the morning doing something I had no business doing. Right? So in the black conscious, I'm a failure. I failed. I did not make it out. Not only did I not make it out, not only am I not um, um, on my own in my own house, but I'm disabled at that. So I am also looked at, like, bro. Not only did you not make it out, but now you can't even take care of your own self. So with the reactions and with the people that I am getting a wide range of exposure to the black conscience that we have, and we have to change it. We have to change the black conscience as to not only who we are, because we're fighting, we're continuously fighting and protesting to make our stance about who we are. Long before Martin Luther King, long before the Civil Rights Movement, we were fighting to say who we are, right? I am a human being. I give us free from La Amistad. Long before any of the civil rights movement happened, we were fighting to show who we are as a people. I am a human being, so treat me as such. And then the civil rights movement come along, and then we continue to move. We got the crack era, which was a lost era as far as our black communities, which was deliberate. The government deliberately introduced crack into certain neighborhoods to make sure that we were dumbed down and make sure that our black conscience did not rise to a level for us to escape. So that's pretty much a lost generation until we get to the millennial generation, our generation, my generation, to where now we're booming, now we're bustling. You understand? So the black conscious needs to and has evolved, but we're kind of still in our old mindset. A lot of people refer to it as post traumatic slave disorder. But the fact of the matter is, it's just a misunderstanding. We've been programmed to see that this is what success looks like, and this is what success don't look like. So I'm attracting a lot of people who are encouraged by what I'm doing, who are engaged in what I'm doing, who are very motivated for what I'm doing, but they really don't understand me as a person. Why? Because they are operating on a black conscience that has been passed down from generation to generation. So not only am I a black man, not only am I a entrepreneurial black man, but I am a Christian black man. What does that mean? That means that not only do I want to help the black community in every community escape the rat race or escape this imprisonment of corporate America that we find ourselves in, but I also want to elevate the spiritual of the man. I also want to elevate the mind of a man. Y'all got to excuse me down here in Miami. It's Saturday, so all the motorcycles, excuse me, all the dirt bike boys are out, so y'all might hear them in the background. So excuse that background noise. But I also want to. I don't just need. I don't just. I'm not just here to say, give us reparations and let us protest because the white man is treating us wrong. No, the black man, we are also treating ourselves wrong, right? And the black conscious need to be aware of that. Anytime a white police officer kill a black man, the Black Lives Matter movement is going to be on deck, strong and powerful. But there is no Black Lives Matter movement when there is black on black crime. You understand? Now, I'm not in Chicago, I'm not in Philly, and I'm not in Cali, which are the big capitals of, just gang related black on black crime. But I am down here in Miami. If you want to have some Reference, just look up the McDuffie riot. I said again, look up the McDuffie riot and look at what Miami did to itself when a military military man was on his motorcycle. He was pulled over by the cops on his dirt bike. Matter of fact, he was on his dirt bike, just like you hear them boys outside on their dirt bikes. He was on his dirt bike. He was stopped at a stop sign, and instead of stopping, he pulled off. Now it was a chase that ensued, and he ended up crashing. Now the crash had no effect on him, but what ended up happening was the police officers literally beat him to death with their billy clubs and their flashlights, and they all got acquitted. And when they got acquitted, Miami tore itself apart from North Miami all the way to Coconut Grove, what we call Coral Gables, and especially in Liberty City, where I'm from. If you just Google the McDuffie riot, you will see Liberty City, where I am, literally burned everything to the ground. And I don't want to be too graphic, but my mom tells me about it all the time. She say that she literally saw people with white people's head on sticks. So they had cut the people's heads off and put it on a stick, like we're in the mid ages, like we're in, like we're in the 1400s and the 1500s. It was that bad. You understand? Miami literally tore itself apart, and that's nothing new, right? Look at what LA did to itself when Rodney King was beat. So the tearing down and the destroying things is nothing new. But what we have to understand about the black conscious is we're destroying our own cities. We're destroying our own stores. We destroyed Liberty City. We didn't go and destroy Hollywood. We didn't go and really destroy. We destroyed Coconut Grove, which is close to Coral Gables, but Coral Gables is where the University of Miami is. Coral Gables is where the money is. We didn't do any destruction really in Coral Gables. We didn't really do any destruction in Aventura. We destroyed Alapata. We destroyed Liberty City, and we destroyed Brownsville, Brown Sub. We destroyed the Poker Beans. We destroyed our own areas. Understandably so, we were angry, but because we can't reach these people in the black conscious, we are destroying our own selves. So I'm getting a lot of people that are really confused by because they see me, me, they hear my vernacular, they hear my like. Don't get it twisted. I just look like this. I'm a highly intelligent individual, but I'm not going to change the way I talk. I'm not going to change the way I look. I'm not going to change who I am just to fit the mold. Now I can walk in any boardroom and light it up if I want to, but I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to change myself just to prove that I'm intelligent. I'm intelligent, and you're going to know I'm intelligent by the way I work, and you're going to know I'm intelligent by the way I work and where I'm from. I'm going to represent where I'm from right here, Liberty City, Miami, Florida. You understand? But the people that I'm attracting, they expect me to be Liberty City, Miami, Florida, all day, every day, which is not a problem. I can be that. But when I say something different, it repels them. It kind of rubs them the wrong way because they don't see me as a sellout, but they see me as, oh, hold on, bro, I thought you was such and such and such and such. No, 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 I'm still such and such and such and such. But my conscience is elevated, right? I'm not just the average Negro from the ghetto. I'm not just the average. I'm not just the average hood, right? We don't have to be. I can still represent my hood, and I'm still going to represent my hood. But I can change the way I do it. I don't have to represent my hood having my pants sagging and or on dirt bikes and doing this. I don't have to do it like that. I can still represent my hood and respect my hood. Right now, if someone comes in to gentrify my hood, I'm gonna get mad. I'm an old white man coming in and the white man trying to push me out. I'm pissed off about that. But the white man coming in, he gonna clean it up and he gonna raise the prices. What am I doing to raise the prices? So when I talk to a lot of the people that I am engaging with, because I am interacting with a lot of people that are finding me thanks to this network and thanks to the work that I'm putting in individually just to put myself out there. I am engaging more and more with people, but they still expect me to be their kind of people. Right? Nobody wants to evolve. Nobody wants to. Nobody. We want to change. We want things to change, but we don't want to change. Right? We want our hood to change, but we don't want to change. We want our situation to change, but we don't want to change. So I think about, like, for instance, the Jewish community. We all look at the Jewish community. We all see how the Jewish community, well, the Jewish people, they got all the bread. They got all the money. They have all the resources. They have all of the they have all of the connections. Whether it's in Manhattan, the Jews run New York. We know, especially Manhattan. Donald Trump tried to get in real good with the Jews because we already know who run New York. Same thing down here. You would think that it's a lot of Caucasians that run South Beach. It's not. A lot of South Beach is owned and operated by the Jewish community. I mean, like, they have it. They have those connections, and we can look at them and we can envy them. We can look at them, or and we can hate on them, or we can look at them and be inspired by them. Right now, when it comes to helping each other out, the Jewish community is at the top. Right, the Jewish community. It don't even matter. As soon as you say Jewish community, anywhere you are in the United States, we know what that means. We know that, oh, they got it. They got the connections. They got babysitters. They got helping the homeless. They gonna make sure they take care of one another. Now, second to them is the Caucasians. It's the white people. A, a white person will help a white person before they help a black person. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's no new thing. But when it comes to African Americans, we are all crabs in the bucket. Like, even from your hood, I kill you if I see you stunting. If a Jewish man see another Jewish man getting out of the hood or getting out of a bad situation, that Jewish man gonna do one or two things. Number one, they're gonna either ask that Jewish man, listen, how are you getting out? Like, how are you doing this? What is it that you're doing that I can do? Or they're going to help excel that Jewish man. But they probably already up the ladder. So they're gonna pull that other Jewish man up the ladder. So they're gonna either inquire about how do I do it, or they're going to they're going to pull them up if they're already up the ladder. White people will do the same. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You can be the highest, you can be the valedictorian of your class, Harvard graduate, right? You go into a JP Morgan stock, investing office and highly qualified. And you have somebody, your competitor is somebody, a white boy who probably went to, no disrespect, but he probably went to the University of Florida. Now, you're a Harvard graduate, valedictorian. This guy went to the University of Florida. He gonna get the job before you do. Why? Because it's not about what you know; it's about who you know. So their community is not as strong as the Jewish community, but their community, their network is definitely a powerful thing. It's not like that in our community, right? I would kill you before if I feel like you doing good. I feel like you stunting on me. I feel like you flexing on me, and I can't hide that. I gotta be the biggest boy on the block, so I gotta take you out. So when we look at the Jewish community versus our community, or even the white community versus our community, we have to build these networks, man. We got to stop looking at black people who are trying to make their way out, and this is what we say: "Oh, you talking white? Oh, you acting white?" Like, as my fiance say, white is a color. How can you talk a color? Oh, you talking white? White is a color, my guy. You can't talk white. White is a color. Now you can say, "Oh, you talking proper?" Or you talking proper, so you think you uppity. That's a different story. That's a different story. But when we see somebody talking uppity, we call them bougie. In our community, we don't uplift them for bettering their vernacular. We don't up them for bettering their communication skills so they can help us get out the hood. We're gonna bring them down. You understand? So when we are observing the Jewish community and the black conscience, we gotta understand like we only hurting ourselves. We are consistently asking these people to help us. We are consistently asking the government, help me please, whether it's give me food stamps, give me reparations, give us free, which we've been saying since we got off the boat. Give me, give me, give me. Listen, man, them folks ain't gonna give you nothing. You hear me? The initiative was not to give you anything. You were brought here as a slave to work, to labor. The Declaration of Independence says something to the tone of all men are free and created equal. Now, when you dig deeper into that, that did not include African Americans. You understand? Half of the people, about 18 to 20, probably about 25% of the people that signed the Declaration of Independence were slave owners. So the exact people that wrote all men are created equal and this is the land of the free, they were not talking to you. You understand? They weren't talking to you. So it's up to us to come together, not blame the Jewish community, not keep begging these people to help us, not keep protesting what what are we protesting? Let me ask you something. If I don't like you, if I genuinely don't like you as a person, if I don't like you, what makes you think I'm going to like you if you become a Harvard graduate? You think because you become a Harvard graduate, I'm going to like you more? You think because you get an education, I'm going to like you more? You think because you start a business, I'm going to like you more? You think because you become the president of the United States, I'm going to like you more? You think I'm going to give you a seat? Like, oh my gosh, we 1777, we said this, but in 2007, we're going to change it. And like, oh my gosh, these people are definitely putting in the work and they're coming in strong and no, it's nothing changing. It's nothing changing. We're gonna have to do it ourselves, and we can't keep bashing one another or hating on the Jewish community or the white community and having our hands out waiting for somebody to help us, right? So it brings me to a glass ceiling. Like we can see the sky, especially now with all of the education, with all of the resources. Like I say, anybody can enroll into YouTube University, into the University of Google. Anybody can enroll free of charge to those university academies and learn anything you want. Me and Quita stated on our last podcast that if you want to, with the popular saying that if you want to hide something, just put it in the book. Well, they can't do that anymore. Because even if they put it in the book, we can buy the audio book and we ain't even got to read no more, right? So we can see the sky. We can see the sky and we can see the stars, the moon, and we can see all of that. But we hit a glass ceiling. Why? Yes, there's redlining. Yes, there's just a hate in what's going on. For example, If a lot of, as of what's going on right now, a lot of African Americans are starting to be woke, right? We're starting to wake up, is what we call it. And a lot of us are learning about generational wealth, quote unquote. That's the big hot topic right now. Generational wealth. You can look at just and it's a lot of black um, leaders in this space. I follow a guy called Wall Street Trapper. Now I was following Trap since he came out, maybe in like 2018, 2019, and he's just been, just advocating for black people getting into the stock market. I turned around like a couple months ago. Trap was on Ellen. Now I'm like, this man went from YouTube to Ellen DeGeneres show, just talking about Wall Street and getting the black people back into Wall Street. So there is a ceiling. Give me a second. Close window. Stop listening. Stop listening. Sorry about that. So there is a glass ceiling, but we definitely have the tools and resources of breaking through this glass ceiling, but we're not doing it. I remember a few weeks ago hearing the complaint of who I call the Queen Bee, Tajmir, Queen of Black National News, right? Saying that a lot of people are not tuning in to the free game and the free knowledge that she's dropping. And she's talking about venture capital. She's talking about entrepreneurship. She's interviewing mayors. She's talking about real deal how we can quote unquote get ourselves out of the hole that we're in. The information is there, but we're not tuning in. So we see this, we see the stars, we see the moon, we see all the galaxies, we see what's possible, but we're not tuning in to the information. We're not taking advantage of the information. And when we see someone that is doing it, we say, "Oh, you selling out, you selling out," or you talking white, or you leaving the hood, you leaving us behind. It's like, how can I leave you behind when I had to work? Nobody pulled me up. And I'm not talking about me, I'm just talking about period. Nobody pulled me up. How can I leave you behind when nobody pulled me up? Now, yes, I can reach back and help you, but I can't want it for you as bad as you want it for yourself. I can't do that. Even if I could, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna want it for you better than you want it for yourself. So this glass ceiling, the information is there. We have blackusa.news is it. We're talking about program. We're talking about crypto on this platform, right? We got Share Spaces, which is a platform just for other people to come share their platform, right? So the whole purpose of that show is for us to go have a space, share spaces, aka it's in the name for us to be able to go and just share a space to promote ourselves, whether that's starting a cheerleader program, whether that's feeding the homeless, is there. We have the Black Roundtable to where we're talking about news and we're talking about legislative things that's going on, not only in the black community, but way on the East Coast. I mean, I'm sorry, way on the West Coast. And so it really don't got anything to do with us on the East Coast, but it's in our realm. It's in our best interest to know, well, if they're doing that on the West Coast, maybe we can do this on the East Coast. But we got to tune in for that. We got to tune in for that. And for those who are not tuning into it, you can't be mad at the people who are tuning into it. You can't call them sellouts because they're doing the work. Now, nothing is going to come easy. Don't anything come easy in this world. If it came easy, everybody would be doing it. And I do understand, as me and Tashmir was saying on a few podcasts back, that there is systemic racism in this country. That's a fact. But there is also systemic systems to keep poverty in place. There are systemic systems to keep homelessness in place. That's the glass ceiling. right? So no matter how much we learn, no matter how much knowledge we gain, we're gonna be redlined. We're gonna be sometimes, most times, on the outside looking in, just because we're not wanted in those spaces. Once again, we were not brought here to flourish. We were brought here to work, not to create anything. We were brought here to work. So, say for instance, with this black conscious of financial IQ is rising. Best believe the game is going to change soon. Why? Because a lot of black people are getting into Wall Street. We're starting to understand the difference between making money, which is all a lot of black people care about. Let me make money. Let me go to school, get a good job, so I can make good money. That's what your mama tell you. Oh, you gonna go to school so you can graduate so you can get a good job, not so you can create a job. Excuse me. So you can get a job, so you can get a good job, so you can go work for somebody else for X amount of dollars while they get two, three, four, 5,000 times more than that, just so you can work for them, come home miserable, and you know hate what you're doing. Now, before the awakening of financial IQ, we didn't have an escape. We were locked in that. They created the ghetto for us. They created these quote unquote minimum wage jobs for us. So they have to keep us. Me and Quita was speaking about homelessness last week, and the UN, the United Nations, released a press release stating that I think it was like 2 or 3% of Elon Musk's net worth can can cure homelessness and hunger. 2%, 3% of his net worth can absolutely cancel homelessness in the world. Now, 10% of the world is homeless. That's 10%. That's 800 million people, right? So there's 8 billion people in the world. 10% of 8 billion is 800 million. 800 million people on this globe is homeless. Now, we would think that well, we're in America, so that must be a statistic for, Africa, or a lot of these nations in South Africa, or a lot of these nations over in China, in Bangkok, where, eating out the trash or drinking, contaminated water is the norm. But no, that's right here in America. Good old American made, make America great again. America ain't so great when we look at it, especially if we really dive deep into what's going on with China and America. And that's a whole different show. If you understand what China is doing when it comes to currency and how they are going to change the world of currency as far as fiat currency, which is dollar paper money, and how they are going to overcome, not even going to, they are already in the process with the Chinese yuan. They are in the process of just demolishing the paper dollar. And our Federal Reserve and our banks are trying to figure out how can we how can we how can we how can we prevent that? Because as of right now, 70% of the world trades in American dollars. So 70% of investing, whether it's in China, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Austria, they 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 trade in American dollars. But that's going to change. That's it's already changing with the creation of the Chinese yuan. So when we look at what's going on, not just in the black community, but what's going on in the world, blacks in America are trying to close the wealth gap, but the wealth gap as far as America and China, America and Africa, or Africa and China, it's a bigger picture. You understand? It's a much bigger picture. And we're hating on our neighbor when when really our neighboring country is about to come and change the whole game. So we have to not only take advantage of the opportunities and the resource, free resources that can get us through this glass ceiling, but we have to do it together as a collective. We can't just rise up for Black Lives Matter when something goes wrong, and then don't tune in when Tashmir is dropping dimes. Don't tune in when Donnie is dropping dimes. Don't tune in when our cryptocurrency program is dropping dimes. Which cryptocurrency, if we do it right, can close the wealth gap in less than 20 years, far less than 20 years. If we can understand and we can take advantage of the power of cryptocurrency, we can close the wealth gap tremendously, 5 to 10 years, just because of what crypto can do. We all see crypto and we see the volatility of crypto, and then everybody's saying, "Oh, stay away from it, stay away from it." Man, listen, if we can understand crypto and what blockchain can really do, a blockchain can block out governments from just going into a bank and adding a few zeros to their ledger and just creating money out of thin air. You can't do that with blockchain. You understand? So we can understand the technology behind Bitcoin, understand that Bitcoin and blockchain are two different things, right? The our nations are not so much scared of Bitcoin, they're scared of blockchain because blockchain will block them from being able to manipulate what we can do. You understand? Having all of this information, which is out there, which is free on this platform, will help us not only demolish and not only break through this glass ceiling, but help us reach all the stars. Somebody used to tell me, and I'm sure you all heard it, you got to shoot for the stars. Even if you miss, you'll land on the moon, right? And cryptocurrency, our understanding, all of this is there. If you have if you have something that you want to do, instead of hating on somebody that's doing it, reach out to Quita and Chop, get on shared spaces and share your story. Don't just hate on the next person. That don't make any sense. Now that brings me to my story, right? And the whole purpose of this. So a lot of people that are finding me, they are misconstrued as to why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I should be doing it. So I created something. I'm seeing that if we look at our faith world, if we look at the church world, the church, what it used to be was a lot of our men ruled the, not rude, I don't want to say rude, that's misogynistic. Our men had the, our men were the head of the movement, whether it's Martin Luther King, whether it's Reverend Al Sharpton, whether it's Thurgood Marshall, whether it's O.W. Gurley. Our men were at the head of the movement, any movement. Now our women, even if you go to the church house is packed full of women. The church, the motherboard, not just the motherboard, but all the women. Women have to fight and really not only with the children, but they have to get in heated arguments with their husband and drag their husbands into the church. So not only are the women taking care of the household, going to work, but they are also carrying the burden of our spiritual lives. Women are the one jam packed in the church, praying for the house, praying for the job, praying for the kids, praying for herself. Like the burden of our spiritual life and our spiritual um, moving forward has fallen on the women. And if you are any form of a biblical student, not even the deepest Christian theologian or faithful Christian holier than thou, but anybody would know that God placed the man as head and a woman. You understand? Genesis 2:18, he said, I will make a helper for him. A helper, and my favorite word of Genesis 2:18, a helper fit for him. So this woman will fit him. I'm not just going to bring any woman to him. This woman will fit him. This woman will fit his purpose. This woman will fit everything that he's trying to do. I will bring her to him. He don't got to be out here looking all crazy and trying to figure out something. And she don't have to be all out here looking crazy and something. She can rest knowing that I'm going to bring her to the perfect man. and he can rest knowing that I'm going to bring the perfect woman to him. So but that's not what's happening. Our women are carrying tremendous burdens. The women are leading the church right now, whether it's Jackie Hill Perry, whether it's Sarah Jakes Roberts, whether it's Joyce Myers. I mean, to be truthful, the last OGs of the men leadership in the spiritual world and the church world is you got T.D. Jakes, you got um, Joel Osteen, you got Reverend Al Sharpton, and there's a few other stragglers out there. But for the most part, when you look at women preachers, women apostles, go on Facebook and look up apostle or or go on any social media and look up who's preaching the word, who's posting motivational and spiritual posts and guidance on Facebook. It's the women, right? Where are the men? Where are the men who's supposed to? Now we want to be controlling. You understand? This is coming from a man perspective. Men want to be controlling, but we don't want to be in control. We want to control everything, what you do, where you go, where you eat, what you sleep, what you wear, who you talk to. We want to be controlling, but we don't want to be in control. We don't want to pray when it's time to eat. We don't want to be the one waking up first, getting the family ready to go to church. We don't want to be the one that's praying when we arguing, instead of going in the den and just I'm going my man cave, you go your way. We don't want to just break out in prayer. We don't want to do that. So we don't want to be in control, but we want to be controlling, and that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not going to work like that. Hence, the divorce rate is. I mean, it was 49, 50%, but the divorce rate has to be over 50% because people are marrying for all the wrong reasons now. So what I did was I created a group recently with me and my fiance called Disciple Mafia Family. And I did that because we love mob movies, right? We love Scarface. We love The Godfathers. We love Goodfellas. We love this, mob mentality, this gangster mentality. 50 Cent got BMF that's on TV now, which is flying off like a rocket. We have Empire. We have what's the name of the show? The Power. We have these shows, and it got me to thinking like, if that is what the world is into, this power struggle, this I'm the boss, I'm the big boss. Well, the original bosses were in the Bible. The original bosses were actually Christian men. You understand? Moses was a murderer. Moses murdered the Egyptian guy because the Egyptian was beating on one of his Hebrew brothers, murdered him, then had to run in the wilderness in Midian for 40 years before he saw the burning bush. We got Samson. Samson had the big dreads. Samson was wreaking havoc for the Philistines before they actually sent Delilah to him, and Delilah cut his dreads off. But Samson set the whole crop on fire. He used foxes to set all of their crops on fire, right? We got Solomon. We got David. Yes, we know David killed Goliath, but David was a cold-blooded murderer. David not only slept with his homeboy girl, which is Bathsheba, but when Bathsheba got pregnant, David was like, when he couldn't cover it up, he was like, I got to kill this guy. Close window. Stop listening. Excuse me. David's like, I got to kill this guy. So he sent Uriah, which was his best friend. He sent Uriah to the front lines to get killed. David had to murder that guy, which is where we get Psalms 51. After David realized what he was doing, he we have Psalms 51 where he's pleading to God to forgive me. We got Paul. We know Paul, which is AKA the greatest Christian ever to live other than Jesus because of what Paul did. Paul was a murderer. Paul was actually the mob boss. When you read how they killed and stoned Stephen, they actually gave their coat to Paul. Paul stood there and let them kill Stephen. When they got done, Paul gave them their coat and he walked away. We all know that Paul was on his way to kill more Christians when Jesus finally appeared to him and on the road to Damascus, right? We know Peter. When Judas betrayed Jesus in the garden, Peter cut the man's ear off. Peter got the knife, cut the dude's ear, slapped cold off. You understand? And there's more stories like even Jesus himself, the Messiah himself, when he walked in the church, and they seen all these people selling this and selling that and exchanging money, man, Jesus whipped them people out the church. Jesus flipped the tables over, snapped on everybody, kicked everybody out. You understand? And before he left, we got what we know as the Last Supper. And we see the Last Supper as, oh, this quiet, quaint little, this that Leonardo da Vinci painted that we see everybody just sitting at the table. But it's the same thing when you see the mob movies, what you see? You see everybody sitting at the table. You see the Godfather sitting at the head of the table. And you see all the everybody around the table getting instructions from the Godfather. Well, the original, the OG mob boss was not the Godfather, but the son of the father. You understand? So me seeing that the way I did, I'm like, okay, so everybody like mafia. So let me create Disciple Mafia Family. And what Disciple Mafia Family is, it's a way to grab people's attention, right? I'm not conforming because what it is, Romans 12:1, 12:2 says, don't conform yourself to this world, but let your mind be conformed. Right? Don't conform to this world, but let your mind be transformed. Right? So I'm not conforming, I'm not giving in to the mob mentality, but I am allowing people to see, like, you like mob movies, you like the mob, you like gangsters, let me show you the real gangsters. God's gangsters. Let me show you the real, the G. You like G's, you like G code. Let me show you the real G, who is my God. You understand? And it's working. It's helping. But when a lot of people find me, that message, they're coming to me wanting, okay, Joey, I see you disabled, and bro, you are very encouraging, and bro, you are very inspiring. How did you create this business? Bro, how did you create that business? How did you find financial independence and financial security when you can't work? How did you make your own wealth? How did you escape the rat race? How did you escape the 9 to 5? And when I go to telling them that, they're not, they want to hear the mob mentality, right? They want to hear, oh, I flipped the coke and I turned it into music. They want to hear the Jay Z story. They want to hear the Rick Ross story. They want to hear the Cardi B story of a, I was a scribble and I turned it into music. But when I tell them no, I made all the mistakes you can make. I hit rock bottom, and the only way I was able to come back up was to look up. And I'm still struggling to get up, but I'm struggling to get up. It ain't gonna come easy. Now, it can come easy. You can get it easy, but it's not gonna come easy. You gotta work for it. So when I go to explaining the Bible, what I call, so I have I have a, or I'm in the process of starting a program called the Bible in the Bag. I've already created a online personal finance course. You can find that it's at 1921inc.com. So like 1921inc.com. And a lot of people are engaging with that, but when I'm not, now that I'm introducing a new audience to, it's kind of what they call a funnel. So I'm reaching a new audience and I'm funneling them into 1921. It's not too hard to grab the 1921 audience. Because all you got to do is say Black generational wealth, and your videos will get 100 million likes. That's all you got to say is Black financial independence or Black generational wealth, and you're gonna take off. You're gonna take off. But when I go to, now that I'm reaching a different audience, that audience, because we have a stigma of of what finance is, when it comes to the Bible, right? We think that when it comes to the Bible, we're supposed to be poor. When it comes to the Bible, we're supposed to be meek. When it comes to the Bible, we're supposed to be, uh, you know, the, what we say is money is the root of all evil, and I have to tell people that continuously on a daily basis. You are misreading the scripture. It does not say money is the root of all evil, and money is not the root of all evil. What it says is the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So if you love money, now money is your idol. And now he says you can't serve two masters, God or mammon, for you will hate one and admire the other. But money is just a tool. Solomon, if money was the root of all evil, Solomon wouldn't have been as rich as he was. David would not have been as rich as he was. Abraham would not be as rich as he was. Lot, even though his whole entire everything was destroyed with Sodom and Gomorrah, he lost his wife in Sodom and Gomorrah, he would not have been as rich as he was. There's a lot of rich people in the New Testament. They would not have been as rich as they were. If you read Luke 8, you will be surprised at the women. There were women, Mary Magdalene and Joanna. They were the ones who were the what we would call investors or venture capitalists that supported Jesus's ministry. They were the ones. Jesus had investors. Jesus didn't have a job. His job was to preach. But every time you see Jesus in the New Testament, he's eating. He's at somebody's house having good wine. Jesus drank so much in the Bible they call him a drunkard. They're like, bro, this guy is a drunk because every time we see him, all he's doing is eating and drinking. So it's not that money is a bad thing. We are instructed on feeding the poor. We are instructed on taking care of the widows. I know Chap, big up the Chap. Chap always love to quote the scripture of true religion. And we can find that in James 1:27. And in James 1:27, it tells you what true religion is taking care of the widows and taking care of the orphans. Now, how can I take care of the widows and orphans? I ain't got no money. How can I do that? But that's the taboo in the church. The taboo in the church is pay your tithe. My preacher gonna drive up in the Benz and the $300 suit. I'm in the bucket in the Toyota, but I'm paying my tithe because I'm waiting on God to bless me. The two most popular prayers that every Christian prayer is God bless my health and God bless my finances. God, I'm in debt, bless my health. God bless my finances. I'm in debt. God bless my health because I'm not feeling good. Those are the two most popular prayers. People ain't praying. Third would probably be for the children. Parents praying for their children. But there's not many Christians in church praying for, oh God, please bless the United States of America. There isn't many Christians at the church altar praying, oh God, please bless my neighbor. Let my neighbor be able to take care of they bills. No, the two most popular prayers that people pray is God bless my finances and God bless my health. And it's not a problem. If we read all of Deuteronomy 8, God will tell you, I'm the one that teaches you how to profit. I teach you how to profit. God tells you, I will teach you how to prosper. God will tell you, I am leading you to a land of milk and honey. Right? So when they reach out to me, when they find me, and I go to talking just like I'm talking now, they're like, yo, I thought you was gonna tell me what Wall Street Chopper telling me. I thought you was gonna tell me what Earn Your Leisure is telling me, or in that kind of way. And there's nothing wrong with what Earn Your Leisure or what Wall Street Chopper is teaching. There's nothing wrong with that. They are, for lack of a better words, they are the catalyst to this spark because they're making financial literacy popular. They're making it like, yo, I gotta really start saving money instead of going out flexing, going out to the club, going out spending money on putting big rims on my car. They are the ones who have sparked people mind to be like, hey, hold on, let me not go to the club tonight and spend $300. Instead, let me go chill with my homeboys over here, spend maybe $100, and let me put these $200 into an index fund. Let me at least do that, or let me even learn what an index fund is. Let me even learn what a Roth 401 Roth IRA is. Let me even learn what the stock market is, or let me even learn how the stock market works. So I'm with Disciple Mafia family. I'm using that same because Satan stole that from God. He stole that from God and made mob movies, Scarface, Goodfellas, and all. Not saying that it's not. I love I love the Godfather. Don't get it twisted. I love Stop Listening. I love Goodfellas. I love those kind of movies. But let's not get it twisted on what the original was. Let's go back to the original. And when I speak like that, when I begin to show biblical finance, people are not people are it's unusual for people to hear biblical finance. We know Solomon was rich. We know that there were rich people in the Bible, but when you go to teaching um, the financial I don't know, when you dig into the financial realm from a biblical standpoint, same thing. IRAs, 401ks, investing, stock market, not being lazy, letting your money work for you. Jesus gave a parable of the talents, right? Jesus, the Messiah himself said, a man with great wealth gave, before he left, he gave one of his servants 5 talents. He gave one of his servants 2 talents, and he gave another one of his servants 1 talent. When he came back, the servant with not it says that the servants put the money to work. The Bible don't say that the servants took the 5 talents and went to work. It says the servants put the money to work. So they had to be investing in something. When he came back, he says that the servant who he gave 5 talents to turned that 5 into 10. The servant that he gave 2 talents to, he turned that 2 into 4. And the servant that he gave 1 talent to, he said, well, I ain't know what to do with this 1 talent, so you feel me? You just gave me $1, so I put it in the ground because I ain't want to lose it and I ain't want to get in trouble. The servant said, what at least you could have did was put my money in the bank so I could have gained some interest. So even the Bible is using financial terms as far as investing and gaining interest in banks. Put my money in the bank, let me earn interest. But we're not looking at it like that. We don't see the Bible like that, right? We're not. All we're seeing is the glass ceiling. All we're seeing is the Jewish people are, or the Jewish community is making bank. All we seeing is my brother, my African American, my black brother is making it out and he bougie now. That's all we seeing. So I just want to clear it up that if you come across my page, if you come across me, don't get it twisted. I'm a proud and proud and excited Christian. But that don't mean I have to be poor. That don't mean I have to talk and act like what I used to. That don't mean that I have to speak how I used to. The Bible says when I was a child, I thought like a child. I was spoke like a child. And I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. You understand? So when people come, when you come across me, I'm down to help you. A lot of people tell me, bro, you don't even charge people that much for this stuff, because the education, the education is taught. It's not brought. Jesus say, freely you have received, so freely you have give. So I'm not going to charge people. How can I help? How can I be out here saying, oh my God, we need reparations and the black people got it close to wealth gap? I'm charging them $400-500 for the knowledge. We ain't got $400-500. We don't have $400-500. As a matter of fact, according to the Federal Reserve, the average African American income will be zero in 30 years. Hear me what I say. In 2053, the Federal Reserve has said The average income or household income net worth of African Americans will be zero, meaning by 2053, in 30 years, the average American will be broke. The same people who built the railroads, the same people who built the White House that all the laws are coming out of, the same people who tilled the ground that's growing the crops that we're selling and polluting, those same people will be broke in 30 years. That can't happen. That can't happen. Now, we can approach that from a secular world, which is no problem. You want to learn from that perspective, you can do that. But if you want to come to me and you're inspired by me, understand I'm going to teach it from a biblical standpoint. I'm going to teach it from a biblical financial standpoint. I'm going to show you what the Bible say about finances. I'm going to show you how the Bible say, number one, God owns everything. So I don't got to stress about money. That's a main thing that we need. We're stressing about money because we need the money to pay our bills. True, correct. But if I believe in God, and this is for people who believe. If I believe in God, yes, it might hurt. Yes, it may be hard. Trust me, nobody knows it better than me. But if I believe in him, I gotta understand that the earth and everything therein is his. So he's gonna provide for me. The money is just icing on the cake. So I don't gotta chase the money. He says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be provided to you. So before we start chasing money, we gotta first chase the right thing. Then we can build, right? The richest people on the planet is the Jewish people. The Jewish people is a speck on the map. You can barely even find Jerusalem on the map. You can barely find Israel on the map. Yet we know the Jews got all the money. How? Why? These are God's people. They're following God's principles. They're following God's principles. You can't get mad at them. You can't get mad at the Jewish community. We can replicate it, or we can just get in line. The Bible is free for everybody. We don't gotta drag each other down. We don't gotta hit this glass ceiling and say, well, they redlining me or they protesting me and I can't do nothing until they give me my reparations. That's how you want to think about it. Go ahead and think about it. But I got another way. I got a way to say all things are possible for him who believes. Whether you got a dollar or you don't, all things are possible. So I just want people to understand when you come across me, whether on this platform or any other platform, trust me, I'm down for my people. I'm down for the African American community. I'm down for the black cause. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it in a different way. I'm doing it in my way, and I'm not saying that any other way is wrong. But when you come across me, don't look at me crazy when I say, "Oh, do you understand biblical finance?" And because your church never told you, or your church never spoke about finances other than tithing, you don't even know what biblical finance is. So now you tuning out, right? You unsubscribing or I hear from you one time and you ain't calling me back because you think I'm going to preach to you all night long. No, I'm going to show you what the Bible says about money, and then we're going to make this money. It's called the Bible in the bag for a reason. We're going to get in the Bible, and we're going to get the bag too. But we all just stop on the Bible. Now, I hope I didn't, well, I don't believe I took it too far, but I hope people just understand what I'm saying. I hope people really under whether you tuned into the biblical part or not. Just listen to. You got to stop blaming the Jewish community. You got to stop looking at, oh, this is a glass ceiling. No matter how much money I make, they not going. Even if I graduate with a job, I can't get. I can't. Even if I graduate with a high degree, I can't get a job. Do y'all know that the African American woman is the most educated being in America? I repeat it. The African American woman, the black woman, is the highest educated individual in America, meaning African American women not only have the most degrees, meaning, you know, they have graduated higher educational institutions in more bulk, but they have the highest levels of degrees. Nobody have more PhDs than black women. Nobody have more master's degrees than black women. Nobody have more bachelor's degrees than black women. Nobody have more AS degrees than women. Nobody have more nursing certificates than black women. But we see this glass ceiling like, man, I got all this education, I can't get a job. Okay, don't worry about getting a job. Let's figure out a way around it because we already know you weren't meant to come here to prosper. You was not brought here to prosper. But there's another way. There's a different way. There's Yah's way. Yahweh. There's Yah's way. And with his way, who when he before you, who could be against you? That's how I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you how to get the bag, but I'm also gonna teach you Yah's way. So I just want people to understand when they come across me, I'm gonna teach you and I'm gonna present to you in my way. I'm gonna present to you in my type of my I'm going to talk to you the way I talk to you, right? And that's why I definitely appreciate Donnie and his platform because it's a diversity of people. You got me talking about biblical finance and the Bible and politics. You got Quita and Chop. They're just sharing their space with anybody. Listen, you got something to do. You got somebody. You got a space for you to go and just have somebody pat you on the back and just spread out what you're doing. You got the Black Round Table that ain't even on the East Coast. They're on the West Coast, but we understand. Okay, if they can do it on the West Coast, we can do it over here. You got Tashmir just giving you all kinds of news and information. Like you got a crypto show that's giving you all kinds of information on crypto. Right? This network, this platform is a diverse platform. Whatever you want. Maybe you might not like Bible and finance. Maybe you like, man, I'm not trying to hear nothing about when it comes to the Bible because God let me down and this. That's cool. You got a crypto show. You don't want to. You feel like God let me down. I don't want to do that. That's cool. Tashmir giving you all kind of game when it comes to a venture capitalist and raising money and doing the business plan and this, that, and the fifth. We got to change the black conscience, man. We got to change how we think and how we see not only each other, but how we see how we gonna get out. We got to get out. There's more ways to get out than the ball, football, basketball, baseball, and the block. It's more than the ball and the block. Now we got the books, right? It's cool to be in them books now. It's not a bad thing to be a nerd no more. So you can get up in them books and get out. Whether it's the Bible, get in that book, or whether it's a real book, or whether it's a YouTube or a Google article. We got to get out some way. We got to change our conscience, and we got to stop hating on everybody who's doing it, and we got to stop being crabs in the barrel. So this message is for everybody, man, who has come across me. I definitely want to thank Donnie for the platform because it has opened me up to a different demographic of people who has reached out to me, right? They have reached out to me. I just want those people, and they're expecting what they're expecting what they think Black USA News should be, right? That's the problem. When they reach out to me, they're thinking they're expecting what they expect what Black USA News to be, and Black USA News is multiple things. Black USA is a chameleon. We blend in with everything. It's not just one thing. So when you find me, just know I'm still a part of the Black USA News family, but we got different. We're a community. We're gonna blend in. Still a part of the same family, but it's like a tree. A tree got 1,000 different branches, 1,000 different leaves, but it's all a part of the same tree. You cut the trunk down, and the whole tree gonna die. So we are all the same branch. We are all the same roses. We are all a part of the same tree. But we just have we have different messages, right? That's the whole point. We have different messages. We are here going in the same direction. We're going in the same direction, but we have different messages. So let me go ahead and get out of here, man. Because now I feel like I'm rambling. You can reach out to me at thenoblemanbrand.com. You can definitely always tune into all of our shows. Definitely visit Black USA News, blackusa.news. Donnie is doing big things for the African American community. Definitely tune into every show that we have. Monday through Sunday, no days off, so there's no excuse. Tune in, man. We out here, and I'm always Charlie. Good night, and I hope this sit on your heart, and I hope this get in your mind, and I hope it sink down into your spirit. Have a good night. Q, go ahead and bang the outro for me.
Young birds on the street misleading them. Call them the lost generation. No one's teaching them, and no one's leading them. And it's just misdirection. War zone, tell them enter at your own discretion. And they say that Jesus wept, so I ain't afraid to cry. But I ain't Jesus. Will I rise? I'm afraid to die. And if I said something different, I'm a faithful lie. But she never raised a sucker. I ain't afraid to try. And they say that Jesus wept, so I ain't afraid to cry. But I ain't Jesus. Will I rise? I'm afraid.
Peace.